Genesis 1 begins with an account of God's creative activity. As I'm sure you're aware, Genesis 1 has been a major passage of contention and debate in the Christian world. This is because it says in Genesis 1 that God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Were these 6 24-hour days? If so, this would seem to conflict with contemporary science, which claims the earth is millions or even billions of years old. Now, I don't want to take too long on this topic since it's not really the primary purpose of the creation story. But we would be remiss in studying Genesis if we didn't at least mention the issue. The simplest way to state the question is, what are the 6 days of creation? Christians, of course, hold different views. Let me just briefly mention several of these views. The first is literal 24-hour days. So-called young earth creationists consider the days of creation to be literal 24-hour days, so that the earth is somewhere between 6,000 to 10,000 years old. This is certainly the simplest and most straightforward reading of Genesis. That is its greatest strength. Its greatest weakness is that from a scientific perspective, the earth looks much older than this. For example, light from distant stars has taken millions of years to get here. Doesn't that mean the earth must be very old? Well, the answer young earth creationists give is that God created the universe with apparent age. So, for example, he created that light already well on its way. He created a tree with rings already in it. So a newly created tree would already be 10 to 20 years old. Here's an interesting question. If God created Adam as a full-grown human, did he have a belly button? That would be apparent age. And God could have created Adam as though he were born 20 or 30 years earlier. That's certainly possible. But because of these and other scientific challenges, other interpreters go for a different perspective. Historically, some have held to what is called the gap theory. Gap theorists claim that there was a gap of millions of years between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, and that those geological ages took place during this gap. Those who hold to the gap theory would read Genesis 1:1 and 2 this way. They would read it, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Then the earth became formless and void." The earth experienced a cataclysm that made it formless and void. Sometimes this cataclysm is connected with the fall of Satan. The 6 days of creation that follow then represent the recreation or the restoration of creation. And all that apparent age took place in the gap of millions or even billions of years between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2. A third view, or I should say a third group of views, is known as progressive creationism or old earth creationism. This is the view that the earth is in fact millions or billions of years old, but that God was exercising his creative power over a long period of time. Some progressive creationists believe that each day of the Genesis account represents a geological age. This is called the day-age theory. The 6 days of creation correspond roughly to how scientists believe the earth was formed. For example, day 1, light being formed might be the Big Bang as God ignites the universe into existence. On day 2, waters cover the earth and the continents are gradually formed. On day 3, plant life appears on these land masses. And on day 4, seasons emerge with the cycles of the sun and the moon. On day 5, animal life appears in the oceans and in the skies. And on day 6, land animals emerge. In this view, God is controlling the process, but it's a very long process. Now, these and other views are held by Christians today. And there are strengths and weaknesses with all of them. We could spend our whole time talking about them, but we're not going to do that. The reason is that this, in my opinion, would miss the central theme and purpose of the creation account, which is to emphasize that God is the creator of all things and that we are the reason for his creation. The creation account is not meant to be a scientific research paper. It's meant to be a theological celebration. It tells us the who and the why of creation, not the how or the how long.